Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Motivation Moment with Marlyn show. I am your host, Bishop Dr. Marlyn S. Thomas. It is such a pleasure to have you join us. Me and my sisters are here. Hey! We are so excited about this special episode, which is our Valentine's episode. And we're going to talk about the single life versus the married life. Is the grass greener on the other side? So we're going to talk about it. Listen, it's going to be hot. Do me a favor while you're watching. I need you to share this on your Facebook page. I need you to send it to everybody in your contacts and let them know, because I know that there's some single ladies as well as some married ladies that need to hear about these hot topics that we're going to discuss in the chat and chew on the show. So go on and share it with them, because they're going to be blessed as we are. So let's get ready. I'm going to have my sisters just briefly introduce themselves, because I really am trying to dig into this lobster. Shout out to our Chef Chris Riley. Yes, make sure that y'all hit her up on Facebook. We'll put her information in there. But shout out to her. She did a phenomenal job with this stuff. What is it, Chef Chris? Stuffed lobster. You can say it, because crab stuffed lobster. I want to make sure I had it right, y'all. Okay. So crab stuffed lobster. Right. So we're going to dig in and we're going to chat and chew. So let's just start with Shan, and then we'll go around the table and everybody briefly introduce yourselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Shan, Shanitra Hughes. I go by Shan.
Hi, Shan.
I am a wife and mother of two, so I will be a part of the married life today.
All right.
Awesome.
Married life gang. All right.
Yes, my name is Karen, Pastor Karen. I'm the single one on the table, but living the life, living my blessed life.
Oh yes.
That's what I'm doing.
Single life. Yes. All right.
Hi everyone, I'm Moderna France. I am married mother of one, and so I'll be sharing from the married perspective.
Married life. All right.
And I am Sylvia Taylor. I am very single. And that's me.
I'm Marjorie. I am married. I am mother of 3 and a dog.
And a dog, yes, and a dog. And
Marjorie.
Marjorie is my sister in love. We don't say law, we say love. So she's my sister in love. So let's get started, ladies, while we're chatting and chewing all this stuff. Lobster, so delicious too. The first question I want to ask, I want to talk about, what is it like being a single Christian? Let's kind of delve into that for the single ladies. What is it like being a single Christian? As y'all know, I'm kind of new into this whole single thing. You know, I've been married like since the flood, and then the Lord promoted my husband, so I'm like 15 months single at this time. So it's so new to me, and I'm learning. Woo! You know, when you're sitting in the married pool, you see things from one perspective, and now I'm like, wow, oh my gosh. So Sylvia, let's talk about it.
So for me, single is, I maybe enjoy being single a tad bit too much right now. And I say that because I raised my son.
Okay.
So I had my son as an older teenager.
Okay.
So all of my teenage years, 20s was like really raising him. And so it wasn't being married, but I still was glued to another person. And now I'm at the age where my son is off to college, and I'm like for real living on my own. Like, girl, I'm got that high rise. I was like, we ain't got to drop nobody off at school. He is 22. Let's keep it moving. And so for me as a Christian woman, I am in a space where it's pros and cons, I think, with dating as a Christian, like being single as a Christian. I really feel like there's pros and cons. I enjoy it, but then there's also, when you have a standard in dating as a Christian, like, boo, I'm celibate. I don't know how you gonna feel about that. I like you, but I don't like you that much. And you have moments where I kind of like you that much, and I'm gonna have to go pray or call somebody.
I got you.
Gotta call the lifeline.
I got a new lifeline. And so that's how I feel about it. Like, you have to date being single as a Christian, because you do want to get out there and see who's out there and experience the single life. And okay, I like him, but I also want to be accountable. I want to have an accountability partner so I don't mess up and make myself feel guilty or condemned, like walking in condemnation because I chose to do something crazy.
That's
So,
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Pastor?
Well, it's different for me. I'm past 55, so being single, past 55, finding that part.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. There's so many different components that comes with that. You know, as you get older, you know, I'm not trying to be a cougar.
Yeah.
Might be okay.
I know. I've had some say, you might want to get your groove back.
My groove is good.
My groove is good, little boy. Okay. You 12. No.
That's got a groove, but
No, I'm like, no, I never lost it. Never lost it. But it, you know, it just comes to that place as you get older, having to really define what you're looking for. You know,
That's good.
I don't need that person to show me the world. I've seen it.
Right.
I want somebody to enjoy it with me.
Ooh.
wow.
That's good.
Okay. So those are the different type of things, and being okay with your journey and respecting the other person's journey as well. So I think just as a Christian woman, knowing what respecting your journey, I would say
Respecting
that
your
respect
journey. I
your
like that.
journey, whatever it has taken you down, and look for that. Don't deny it. Don't say, "Oh, I'm older now. I should have been married by now." No, enjoy this.
Yes.
God
Oh,
knows
that's so
how-
good. So many single women need to hear that.
God knows how to restore time.
Come on.
He knows how to restore time and cause a joy and a happiness to find you that it'll look like nothing has ever been wasted or escaped you.
I like that. That was a word.
Woo,
Just
that's
period.
good.
Like that's for life.
Yeah.
Like not even about the single stuff, but just for
Enjoy
life.
it.
Period.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
you know, because a lot of stuff you feel like sometimes just in life you wasted time.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of lack of resources and just other stuff, but you know, but yeah, that's just a word
Yeah.
for life.
And I've
Period.
learned that. I'll be 58 this year. So
Ooh, you
Good.
good.
Amazing.
Ain't let no crack.
So don't get upset when they trying to make you a cougar.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they don't believe your age.
They don't
know
the birth
any better.
certificate said so.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying. So
You're enjoying
I'm
it.
enjoying it.
Okay.
But just knowing who I am. So that
Yes.
helps. That helps. You got to understand who you are.
That's good. You have to know who you are. Lady France, what about you? You know, what is it like being a married, Christian? We talked about the single perspective and we heard Sylvia and Pastor, Karen. What is it like for you being, a married Christian? And then you're a first lady, as well. So people can have a tendency to try to put you in a box. Let's talk about that.
Right. So, like Sylvia, I had my son when I was in my late teens. I was 19 years old, so I have an 18-year-old son now. And so I was a single mom for many years before I even met my husband. And then we got married. So, life as a single woman, I actually had a long time, a lot of years of singlehood and being free and just having my son. And now as a married woman, I enjoy it a lot because I've already had my fun.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, that's
so
good.
my perspective about it is that, it's been easy for me to enjoy it, to be content where I am and not wish for, as far as relationship is concerned, not wish for anything different or feel like, oh, singles have it better than me, because I use my single time wisely.
Okay.
So I dated and I had fun with my friends and I did things. So, as a married woman, I'm just very content. I'm very at peace. It's, as my husband, we started pastoring 3 years ago now. And so that's been an adjustment because I didn't want to be a first lady.
Okay.
So that's been an adjustment, but it's funny because I'm originally from Rhode Island. So since I've been here, I've been connected to my husband. So anyone who knows me in Atlanta know me as Lady France. Even before he started pastoring, they still call me Lady France. And so they've always seen me connected to that person.
Okay.
And so I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes I have to remind them, like, I've been single before. You've only known me in this capacity, but I understand because I've been there. I've been a single mom before. I know what it's like to deal with a blended family and, you know, the things that come along with that. So, you know, I think overall, married life is wonderful for me.
Okay, good. So you made the adjustment from the single life to the married life, and it was smooth.
Well,
you know, it was a good transition.
It was a good transition. It was time.
Yes.
It was time.
Yes.
And I wasn't the kind of girl who really grew up like thinking about, oh, I know I want this wedding dress and I want my this many bridesmaids. I didn't. So even when I got married, it was still like when he proposed to me, I was still kind of shocked that he proposed to me, really because I was a bad girlfriend. I was a bad girlfriend, so I was kind of shocked that he even wanted to marry me. Praise the Lord, but God is good. So have hope, single ladies. You may not feel, you know. And what I'll say about that really quickly, and I'm done. Is being married is not a prize.
That's what I'm really
qualified for that. You know what I'm saying? And everything that I had done in my relationships with my husband before we got married would have said, "Do not marry this girl." Yeah. So I didn't do everything perfectly to end up married. I didn't do everything perfectly to end up in this position where I'm a first lady. I didn't qualify for this. I didn't deserve this. This is nothing but God's grace on my life. Sometimes when I look over my life and I think about even me sitting here today, I'm like, I don't even know how I got here. If I look back my track record, it would not have led me to this table right here. So it's really the grace of God. It had nothing to do with anything I did. So single women, even if you mess up, don't feel discouraged. Don't feel like marriage is a prize. Just trust God's timing.
Oh, that's good.
That's real good. That one.
Yes, that is so good. That's so good. So Shan, when you think about, I mean, Lady Friends touched on so many different things, you know, in that. What is, you know, like, I know you're part of a blended family, you know, as well. How has that, you know, transition been as far as being a part of a blended family?
Well, for me and my husband came into my son's life when he was like 5. So the transition was a little bit smoother, I think, as if he would have been older. So at one point in time, I remember my son, he knew we was getting married and he wanted to kind of like, oh, Mom, can you change my name? Like he wanted his last name to be the same. So my husband has always treated my son as his own. So the transition for me was really easy. And before we even got to even doing anything or thinking about marriage, I'm like, hey, I'm a total package. So like, it's not just me.
Right.
It's you accept me, you accept what comes with a woman who has a child, which means also too, you having to deal with my son's father at some point. You know, so it's not just me and him. You know, sometimes it can be other things. And thankfully, we haven't had those issues. My son now is also 18, about to go off to college. But so we haven't had those issues in our relationship as far as, you know, my son's father pretty much and, you know, my husband. So, you know, I've been blessed in that capacity because I know that's not always the case. I grew up in a blended family as well. I had a stepfather who had kids and then my mom, of course, with us and our dad. And sometimes, you know, things wasn't always perfect, but I've definitely seen worse, even still what I grew up with. It wasn't bad. And then even what I've been able to be with as far as my personal life. But I've definitely seen things that has not been healthy. So I can say I'm truly blessed to not have to have dealt with that throughout, you know, blending my family with my husband and him helping to be a part of my son's life. So.
And I think blended family, I would say this while I just put some bread in my that bread is so good. Is it? Oh, good.
I'm glad I gave it to you.
It's so good. So right before you put that in your mouth, Marjorie, I want to ask you, because I know you're part of a blended family as well. We're talking about, for those that are just tuning in to the Motivation Moment with Marlyn show, we're talking about the single life versus the married life. Is the grass greener on the other side? We touched on what it's like to be in a single Christian, a married Christian, blended family. And I want to ask you, Marjorie, looking at, you know, considering a blended family, I know you're part of a blended family. What are some things some good advice you would give, you know, to those that are in blended families? And, you know, blended families, you can have highs and lows with that.
Yeah.
So what is some advice, that you would be able to share?
Two big things. One,
Okay.
remember the kid. Always remember the kid. If you move for the betterment of the child and what's in the best interest of the child, then all personal feelings will dissipate. And then communication. Like you have to be able to communicate with all parties involved. My family is very blended. I have my son, and then that my husband had, and I have two myself. So we have two other parents, outside parents, or extended family. I don't know what you want to call it, but
bonus,
yeah. So
that's the new word.
Yeah, bonus. So with that, just everyone being on the same page and being able to communicate, because it's difficult. And my kids, they met young. They were 2 and 3, and now they're 6 and 7. So. Two 7-year-olds, and so that's the reason why they've been together and connected for so long that now it's their normal. Like so, when you birthday parties, holidays, all that. Okay, well, is my brother and sister going to be there? Is my 2 brothers going to be there? Like all those things come into play, and so communicate and keep the kids' best interest. And if you keep them first, then it's like, you know what? I'm not going to be petty about any of this. Let's just get past this. Let's talk about it, or not talk about it, but this is what the kid wants, or these children want, and so let's make it happen for them and have them in a healthy environment, because that's what they need. Healthy environment and a lot of love. Like,
that's good.
Need to see love in all aspects. Like, I can get along with your mom, get along with your dad, and everyone loves each other respectfully.
Yes.
They need to be able to see the co-parenting.
Yes.
Yes.
And they
loving
do.
way.
My my son's mom, she's amazing. Like she blends right on in. My kids love her. They don't see that's Aiden's mom, and I don't know that. She just they see, oh, that's my other mom, and it's cool, and I like that. So
that's okay. Are you okay with them seeing her as mom?
I love it. I want that.
Wow.
I want it, and I love it, and I encourage it, because it's a trust. It's a team. We're a team. At the end of the day, we're family. Like, however you want to call it, we are. So if we can cohabitate as a family with the kids and scheduling and school and everything else, and we're all on the same page, and it works. Like, if I decided to go out of town with my husband, she's like, yeah, I'll get all the kids. That's cool. They can hang out.
That's so awesome.
And
that is awesome.
It is, but I can honestly say this because she has a certain level of maturity that all of us have, where it's like the bigger picture is the kids. It's like it's not about us, how we feel, it's the kids. And so it works, and the family that I'm married to helps out a lot. My mother-in-law's amazing. My sister prays my mom. So, I mean, it works. It works because we put the kids first.
That's good. And I think that's the main thing. Where are we at? I want to make sure I'm looking at it right camera. That's the main thing with talking about single life versus the married life. And I think that's the main thing when you're dealing with blended families. As a pastor, people come, to me all the time, and, they're dealing with blended family issues. What do you do when you fall in love with somebody who has a whole family? Because the thing is, it's not just their child. Like Shan was saying, it's the child's other parent. And then you have to realize you have grandparents, you have aunts and uncles. All these people are showing up to this one child's event, basketball games, recitals, everything. Yeah, your whole life changes. And it's something that you have to really consider. And I love what Marcherie said. You have to put the children first, or put the child first, so that you can work together. So that was good. Now that was just, we just wanted to ease our way into it while we're eating our lobster on. Ease on down the road. Now it's time to talk about some grown folk stuff. If you're not over 21, turn us off. Let's talk about some grown folk stuff, ladies. All righty. So my question, I want to talk about sex before marriage. Just had to get it on out there. Sex before marriage. I'm going to talk to the single. I'm going to kind of blend it a little bit. That way we don't have just one perspective. Because I know, for those that's able to have it, because y'all got the ring on it, I know you're going to see it a little different. But I want to still hear your perspective, because I know that a lot of people, especially you have friends. I mean, even though you're married, you have friends. And I did not realize, I'm going to just jump out here in the deep. I didn't realize how many singles was like in the sheets. I'm sorry. I'm just keeping it 100 over here in the Motivation Moment Marlyn Show. This is not the pulpit, so I can just keep it 100 right here. And and I'm serious. Like when I got in this pool, I'm like, wow, like y'all, you really?
What is that?
I'm thinking that we all, trying to keep this thing under locks, held accountable. And I realized, ladies, we just not all on that page. And then I realized the dynamics of being single, it's not easy. Can I just be the first to say it is not easy being, especially when, as I always say, when the Pandora box has already been opened. I was married for a long time. I was used to certain ththings, certain seasons, certain holidays, certain vacations. And I'm like, woo, okay. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. And then when you got the brothers, you got them players that's got them good lines. Good gracious, I should just wrote some of them down so I can I'm like, what? I know it's a line, but it sounds good to my flesh. So let's talk about it. What's your take? Let me start with Sylvia. Then we'll just kind of work our way around the table, lady friends, and go this way.
Why me first? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I have a lot to say about this.
Yes.
So, being on both sides of it, I was celibate for almost 10 years.
Okay,
and I was celibate during my 20s. So,
praise God.
that's the age when people be busting it.
Yeah.
Well, can I say that? And it was like, and then it was part of my early 30s. Then, I'm not going to lie, I fell off the boat. Ended up meeting a man, and it was like, when that Pandora's box was open again after so long, it was like, oh, you start to tell yourself it's okay.
Yeah.
Because that's your future husband.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're going to be together anyway. And so, and then even if that relationship doesn't work out, the next one you still telling yourself, people drinking, so it's like you still kind of rationalize why it's okay for you to have sex until you get that one person or some scripture hit you again that makes you say, okay, Sylvia, this is not okay. Like, I don't care how much you like him. And for me, I had a question that popped in my head. It was like, do you know how you feel after every single time? It's not just one time that you feel like this. Like, every single time you go and you do this, you have a heavy conviction. You can't think straight. You feeling like God ain't with, like all this type of stuff. Even though I know that there's grace and mercy, I'm a firm believer of grace and mercy. But I also know you don't use it as an occasion to sin.
That's
what Paul said.
And that's it. And it's like, I had to tell myself, would you prefer everybody else to agree with you or God to agree with you?
Yeah.
And that's what made me get back on the boat. And I'm not saying I've been on the boat long, y'all. But I'm gonna keep it 100.
Yeah. We understand.
Yes. I got back on the boat and I was just like, I have to, regardless of the situation. And I meet some amazing guys. Yeah. But it's like, I need you to respect this is who I am.
Exactly.
And
if you can't, that's not for you.
Exactly. So if you can't respect that, I don't feel like it. We don't have to be engaged long. If this thing look like it's gonna work, I'm with 3 months of engagement. Yeah. So I can go ahead and do what we need to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna work. All right, come on. Let's go down to the courthouse.
Do you say it's okay, Jesus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not easy. Yeah. It's not easy. Even if you've gotten off the boat, on the boat, it's not easy, especially when you find that somebody that you have something in common with, you like, that chemistry is there, they know, they can just look at you. Yeah. And when somebody can just look at you and you like, you know what? Don't phone, don't ring, don't nobody call me, don't nobody,
But I do have a question though, like, and this is just for real, like, because, if you're trying to do the celibate thing before you're married, what if you do that and then you realize when it finally happens, oh, this ain't it. Like,
see, I don't know about that because I wouldn't know. I think that's a married woman's question. Like, if you, if it was,
I don't know.
Well, you better not worry. Ask them. Their husband's gonna be like, oh, so I don't produce? No. But you know what? To answer that,
because I have single friends, and they go through that thing, like, okay, well, I want to hold out, and then I turn around, and then they finally explore that option, and it's just like, why did I hold out? Like, there are people that do that.
So they held out until marriage, and then found out it wasn't. But that's when you have to trust God, because it has to be more than sex that keeps a marriage.
Yeah.
True,
Totally.
it does.
At the end of the day, the older you get, well, not for everybody, but for some people, the dynamics can change. I mean, you can be dealing with a health issue, you know,
Yeah.
so many other things. So if sex is the only thing that's keeping that marriage, you know,
Yeah.
then it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
So, you
But
know,
I feel like you can always teach people too how to love you right.
true. So good.
So if you get somebody and their experience is lacking, which is probably a good thing because they think you're amazing.
Yeah. They're like, whoa, we doing no chandelier. We're doing chandelier. Yeah.
So I feel like you can teach them, like you can teach that person, because if God has put it together, God knows that person is willing also to work with you in that area.
And I think also it's when you meet a person, you must find other things
Yeah,
that
definitely.
you want to be in common with or to
Yeah.
grow with. So sex is not. It should be the prize and not just this is what it is.
Yeah.
Our relationship is based upon this part. It should grow into, because a lot of things happen as you get older.
Yeah.
And if that's what you were basing me being with you on, then what do we have after it's all gone? So I think the challenge now as we get older as Christian, I need to find out, what do you really like to do?
Yeah.
You know, how do you handle your family? When your next family reunion?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you like your family?
Do you like your family?
Right.
Do they like your mom?
They
like you.
Yes, you know, and begin to see. Now, I will say this, though. At some point, something should make him move if he really loves you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, that's the key. That doesn't mean we proceed.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm saying this because I know some women that got tricked.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, yes, he just respects me. I said, he ain't never tried. Nothing.
I got you. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get it.
That's a grown piece of information,
Right.
but
Yeah.
but they
We don't need just two Eddies and Mandy. And we happy.
You know what I'm saying?
You ought to look at me. You ought to look at me as something. Something ought to
Something ought to
Take me there.
Take
me there. Take me there.
I mean,
Take
that's
me there.
a real. And the only reason I say it because I've seen so many Christian girls
That's
in
Yes.
church.
I have a friend.
You know what I'm saying? That, oh no, he respects me, he this. Okay, he's supposed to respect you, but has he hugged you and have you not experienced anything?
Yeah.
Oh no. I said, girl,
You better check.
I need you to check that to see if he's even
I hate to say
attracted
it, but
to
we
you.
are in
Yes.
Atlanta.
I'm sorry.
I mean, but
You know what I'm saying?
That's
It's real.
real.
That's
That's
a real thing without having to
I mean,
take
'cause-
that next, going
Yeah.
that far. But
Yes.
because he made our bodies to feel.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's
It's
natural.
natural.
It's
It's
natural.
It's natural.
I'm happy to hear someone say that out loud.
Yes.
It's
So
so
you don't
taboo.
have to.
It's very
so-
taboo, but it's the
It's
truth. I got
true.
some
It's
young
true.
Christian
Yeah.
girls that they look to me as a spiritual mother, and I'm looking at them and their little friend on Facebook, and I'm like, now you posting everything, but he ain't posting nothing, and I wonder why.
Come on.
Because he kind of looks suspect to me. So now, just sit down. You call me mama, so mama gonna have a conversation with you. Say, when the last time you hugged him and you say you love him like that, did anything move?
Yeah. Anything.
And I don't mean
And
that.
I don't mean this.
This is that.
I don't mean this.
Yeah.
Did something happen?
Did you feel a
I don't
little
want
pull coming?
But nobody wants to talk about that.
Hey, y'all know
It's real.
That's real.
that song said,
Yeah.
step back, you dancing kind of
Cold,
cold.
yeah.
I feel a
Right.
little pull coming through. That's real. That's what she's saying. Like, do you feel a pull coming through?
Especially in
Like,
the church when we have standards that we don't have sex before marriage.
Yes.
We don't have certain things. But is there something at some moment that you know that he's connected to you?
Right.
And that you can feel
Yeah.
something, not just you sensing that, but you start feeling something.
Right.
And then you say, oh Lord, yeah, we need to,
Yeah.
hey, y'all, come on, what's going on? What's going on? No, we're not going out by ourselves tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Brunch
Brunch.
only.
I'm driving my car, you drive.
Yeah, I need you there.
Exactly.
But these are the conversations that need to
And
be
they
had.
are needed. I had a friend I talked to because I was telling my girlfriends about us doing this today, and she's a minister, and her husband, she met him in church or whatever, and he was like straight from the street type situation. So he got in church and got to know God and all this stuff. But then she said they went out, and mind you, she is like she's like you, like she gonna call you on your BS. Like no, we need this friend.
Right.
And so she told me, she said, Sylvia, I had to call my sisters one night because I got home. She said she's called it heavy petting. I was like, girl. But even as a Christian woman, she was like that accountability. Like you do want to know that that's there. Like, oh yeah, he feels something for me. And she said that he called her, God had convicted him and was like, we gotta speed up this wedding.
Yeah.
Like that's what he said. Like we gotta go ahead and get married. Like this, and that's how you know. Like okay,
something happened.
So, lady friends, what's your take? Sex before marriage.
Okay, sex before marriage. So I promise you, I'm not really deep. I'm not that deep.
Okay.
So what I've learned, because I had a child before marriage, because I had sex before marriage, what I've learned is that it can cause a disconnect between you and your spouse.
Okay.
So the reason why I say that is because when my husband and I started dating, my husband said it from the beginning, like, we're not going to have sex. I'm looking for a wife. He was very intentional. Things were moving. Praise the Lord. We knew that there was attraction there. There was definitely an attraction there, but we had decided we're going to refrain until we got married. And so what that did to me is it made me, I really had to go to God because I was extremely attracted to my husband. He has tattoos everywhere. He's loud. Yes.
You're a tat girl.
Listen,
all the tat ladies, raise your hand.
Listen.
Okay. Three out of the
They don't bother me one way or another.
Listen, so he got tats everywhere. But he loved Jesus. I'm like, you loved out for Jesus. I'm like, my single life, I was like, I didn't like you unless you looked like you had a bullet wound. And I just like a rough. So when I met my husband, he got tats everywhere, and I'm just like, oh my God, and you love Jesus? Like, perfect versus everything. So I had to ask God to help me to control myself until we got married. But because, when you've given of yourself before marriage and you come to the knowledge of God, you start to regret and look back at the things that you did. Like, oh my God, I'm so ashamed and all this stuff. So when I got married, what it did was it made it hard for me to connect to my husband because now I'm trying to have sex, but it's approved by God. But what I had done before had made me feel some kind of way about sex. So I had to get out of feeling guilty about having sex with my husband. And so it kind of it caused a disconnect in the beginning for me because I'm thinking, oh my God, like we're doing this and God knows we're doing it, but I had to change my mind about sex because at one point in my life it was a sin, and now in marriage it's no longer a sin. But can I be free with my husband? Which you can, but it's just because of what I had done before and how I looked at sex before and what I had opened myself up to before, that now coming into a marriage and a covenant, it made me feel some kind of way about it. I had to remove that blockage of what I did before, and that this is approved by God and it's a beautiful thing. And so, I don't judge anyone who has sex before marriage because I've been there and I can understand what they go through, but I strongly encourage them not to because I know how it affected me, and it may not be the same for everybody, but it's almost like when you do drugs. Like you may smoke weed and you may be fine. I may smoke weed and have a completely different reaction. You might try ecstasy and you be fine, and I be the one who try and I die. So it's the same with sex where it can be like, it just, what it does to me may damage me much more than it damaged you, but it can hinder you in your life, and we don't know what that's going to be until we experience it, and then we get married, and you may have some issues. So for me, I went through that struggle of connecting with my husband because of what I did in my single life.
And I think that that's so key because I know that I've heard that, before from ladies. If we could just keep it 100, the thing is when you've had different partners.
Right. Yeah.
Every partner is pleased differently. We're just breaking it all down. Every partner is pleased differently. necessarily.
Yes.
So then when you get the covenant partner, the one that God has, you're trying to learn their body. They're trying to learn your body. You're trying to learn their flow. You know, they're trying to learn your flow. And then you're bringing something from another season with somebody else into the season that God has for you. And in the middle of that, you're still, like you said, you're dealing with the conviction because then you get into soul ties, you know, as well. But I think the thing is, I want people to take away from this is that with sex before marriage, and again, you have to learn somebody's body chemistry. It's a blessing when all you have to do is just learn that one person. Y'all are learning. It's like you're learning together. You're growing together. Yeah. You're not displeased necessarily, kind of what you were saying earlier about what if the person said, oh, well, I don't like this now. It's easy to not like it when you have too many comparisons.
Exactly. And that's
when you have nothing to compare it to. You know what I'm saying? When you have nothing to compare it to, then y'all are learning and growing together. But we're 2021, that may not be the case. That may not be the case. Some people may have more than one partner. But nevertheless, I believe that God is a restorer.
Yes.
And because he's a restorer, I believe that he can restore your mind. He can restore, he can restore your body back to you. Those parts of you, your innocence, your nature, your character, the things that you like. And I believe that when we love us, when we learn to love as women of God, when we learn to love our bodies, we're ready then a whole us. We're ready to give ourselves, and you're open. Because in marriage, you're open. And I want to talk, I'm going to jump to Shan with this tough question. We're open. And because we're open in marriage, as you're learning your spouse, you're open to that person.
Right.
You know, I remember when, and I could say this, and when me and my late husband, when we were together and on our honeymoon night, I'll just put it like that because we're grown, so y'all know what happens on honeymoon.
Right.
You know, when we got married, after we said I do, we went to the hotel to, consummate our marriage. Right. And I can remember, the lights was out. And he was like, babe, why you got the lights out? I was like, because the lights always go out. Can I just be honest? No, he was like, turn the lights on. I'm like, whoa, lights on? Can we keep the lights out? And that was a mindset. You understand? Right. There's a mindset because when you do things before the covenant, you have that shame attached to it. And then when you're in the covenant, the whole thing is everything is open. So something that a lot of Christian women struggle with. I'm just laying the foundation for this next big one. Y'all probably already know where I'm going. So I'm laying the foundation for it. So because everything is open, whether it's the lights on, whether it's toys, married people, singles, don't y'all go get, I know about this, the Valentine's episode. Don't y'all on this one. But what is your take? Let's ask our Sister Shane. Sister Shane. On what is your take on oral sex?
Well,
I know it's tough.
In marriage. Right. I'm gonna go with her. So back to what she said.
Lady friends.
Lady friends. A lot of times you're shameful once you get married. Like I've been married almost 11 years now, so I couldn't remember that far. But as she was speaking on how you're, certain stuff you're shameful with, and then how you said when you're your husband, even on your honeymoon night, you like lights on. Yeah. She need the lights. She need the lights for. We gotta see. So it's to me when it comes to marriage, again, like she said, when you're doing stuff with your husband, at that point, it's okay. Yeah. So no matter what it is that you're doing with your husband, I feel like it's okay. As long as it's something that you guys enjoy, and that's something that's going to keep your marriage together. Because having sex is a part of keeping that bond and covenant between you and your spouse. So that I'm not looking at your husband or wanting the man back there or, So, I mean, because to be honest, we still, just because you're married, your eyes still see. Absolutely. And stuff, you still see other people, you see other things. Even sometimes on TV, I know I might make a comment like, ooh, dang, he got a nice body, but my husband, he doesn't feel any type of way when I make those comments because he trusts that I'm not gonna act on those things. Yeah. But still, like I'm saying, like a part of keeping your marriage whole and together is to do those things that please you in your marriage. Like for you, oral sex may not work, but for me and my marriage, that may be the best part for us. I'm just saying saying for
No,
you
but
and
he
yours,
will. Yeah.
maybe your husband, he don't do it right. You got to train him how to do it right, you know, and vice versa. You may not be a good fit for him, but he got to teach you what he like. So I just feel like whatever it is that you and your spouse like to do sexually to keep y'all going. I mean, like she said, it's 2021. You got to do what you got to do. And you know, it's new things, it's new eras, new technology. You gotta, you know, if you need the toys, you need. I mean,
Doing a whole lot.
Technology.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, with the toys and all that stuff, you know, stuff have changed.
Yeah.
And like you said, as you get older, you and your spouse are growing. My spouse is 10 years older than me, so things even I've noticed have changed with him at times. You know, so. We have to do stuff differently so that I don't feel like I'm not pleased and he got to feel like he's pleased still. So we have to change as we're growing and our bodies are kind of doing whatever they do or not doing, I should say, you know. So we have to make those adjustments and, you know, that's just what it is. So you have to, it's still, there are different ways that thank God for technology because, you know, you might need some toys in the bedroom so you don't be in somebody else's bedroom. Like, I'm just saying, like, I mean, like you said, wanting a spouse is natural. Wanting that affection and wanting to feel sexual is natural. I mean, shoot, animals do it. So, you know, you think we excluded, but, you know, that's my take on it.
So why do y'all think, you know, Pastor Jones, Karen, why do you think that it's such a taboo topic in the church? Like the church does not like even when we say sex, it's just like, it's almost like, don't talk about it. But that is so much a part of your marriage. It's not everything, but it's a part of your marriage. I mean, God talked about it. He told Adam and Eve, you know what I'm saying, to go, multiply, replenish the earth. He said, go have sex. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so why is it, and then we'll come, I know, I see it. It's right there. It's
I
right.
have it. I have that.
She have it. You have it. Okay. Come on.
So in
And
general,
y'all try this strawberry
oh,
shortcake
definitely.
too.
I didn't want to be the first one. I ain't
Okay,
even
go
gonna
on.
lie.
And these are,
I was waiting patiently.
and these are edible butterflies, everybody.
It's so cute.
I think it's because they look at the whole crowd. So think about it. You know, when I was in church, you had children's church, but then after children's church, it's the teenagers and the adults, the married and the single, all in the same congregation.
Okay.
So when you're preaching the word, you're going to try to preach for the masses. And so you're like, we shouldn't have sex before marriage, so we're just not going to talk about it. Even though half of y'all may be married, it's the other people that I need to make sure I keep and protect and not promote those types of things. And then even growing up for me, like sex was super taboo. You didn't talk about it. I remember going to youth programs where it was just the kids and the camps and everything else, vacation Bible school, sleepaways, whatever. And it's like, sex is only supposed to be with your husband, and then the sex that you have with this person is going to be completely different because your souls are connected and Jesus blessed it and all this other stuff. And so you're taught, like, don't talk about it, and then it's supposed to be amazing as soon as you have it and you're married. And you're just like,
Well, what is it?
exactly. But they don't, you know, and they try to shelter you from that. And so then what you see is what you see on TV, and it's like so taboo and vanilla, so to speak. It's just, I was watching this movie and the guy was like, he was cheating on his wife because he respected his wife too much to ask her to do the things that he liked. He was like, we're married, she's a Christian, and I'm a Christian, and I just can't see my wife doing this to me, so I go buy a girl to do it for me because I don't want my wife to do it. And that's like in the movie, but that's some people's mindset. Like, I don't. No, that's off limits because she's too Christian for that. The Lord won't be pleased, but it's everything.
But that's real. Yeah. It's real. We got to talk about it, Pastor.
Yes, it's something, especially in our culture.
Oh yeah.
It's, you know, our culture. It was something that never was discussed anyway.
Yeah.
You know, everything is silent. Everything is quiet. You just gonna know.
Yeah.
When it happens. And it has been passed down. And I think we have a responsibility now is to make sure that the next generations, they don't get it the same way.
Yeah.
And it's just going to have to be a place that we have to start creating those environments outside of the Sunday morning time and making it available to less talk of, because think about it. Women going through menopause.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk about that.
That's the thing.
You know?
You're crazy.
You're crazy. That's why the lady in the church was so mean. She was going through menopause.
Yeah, exactly.
All we know is the flashing.
The flashing.
You know,
Yeah.
but you don't really understand.
You don't
the whole depth
understand,
of
and
it.
those things. I'm an advocate for that now. Like, come on, we got to talk about these things to every woman. You know, how your body changes, your thought process changes, things that you want, it changed. So you have to be honest, even when you're going into relationships. That it sounds like communication is still a big part of whatever stage you're in. You know, whatever place. I can remember real quickly. I met a guy. He wanted to have kids. I was getting older. I didn't want to have children. So for me, I'm this type of person. I'm not going to keep leading this thing on to get you to change your mind. That's so unfair to you.
Right.
So I think we'll be better friends. And we're friends to this day, and he's happily married to somebody else, and they're doing great. You know, he was a great guy. You know he didn't. He still didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because he got older.
Yeah.
He got older as well. But he found a great girl. She was great for him. We were all friends. But at that time, it wasn't on my plate.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want that. Even though we had a great time. But I wasn't going to try to make him that manipulation thing.
Change his mind.
Change his mind. So when it comes to everything about sex, we have to talk about it now.
And I agree. Because I'm at a place, my son is like hers too. Like I said, he just stepped into adulthood by legal age. And so, you know, I know in my mind, my son is going to be at some point in that place, in that space that you're talking about. So I'm telling his dad now, like, make sure you talk to him from a man perspective to equip him. Because you know now for his sons, for him, he's the oldest of the kids. He has a couple of other siblings from his dad too, but he's the oldest of everyone. So this is new for all of us as far as having this conversation. So I'm like, you know, telling my husband, you know, and then trying to give him a woman's perspective. And right now, honestly, I don't want to talk to my son about sex. Like, even though, so I'm putting it in his dad's hands because I'm like, he need to hear it from a man's perspective. I feel like first instead of mine. Because I might come off like mommy, and I might just be like, he might be like, I'm going to have sex tomorrow. You know,
because he's dealing with those male,
right?
You know, hormones.
But I want him to know. I'm like, well, did you tell him to get a condom? Like, do he know where to buy condoms? Like, you know, this is like real talk. Like, because if it happens, I want him to be safe as possible.
Who had that conversation with you as a kid, though?
Nobody.
Do you remember?
No, I don't. Like, you know, I think we had a little sex education when I was in school, but it wasn't. They don't have that stuff in the schools now. So you're leaving it up to your parents, your friends, TVs, and if you talk to the doctors.
The YouTube and the TikToks and everything else, they're so exposed. Like, but my parents talked to us starting like in 5th grade weekly. It was almost like it would be like we'll sit there and my dad would be like, so, you know, I don't want you to do stuff, but here is what you should do just in case.
But you know, you don't want to lead your kids too early because you don't want them to start thinking about it. Like, it's, as a parent, you don't really know when to start.
Because I listened to my parents and they didn't make it bad. They just said, out of respect, I don't want you to do this. And out of respect, I didn't do it.
But a lot of parents are not mature enough to hold those conversations. Like,
I wasn't mature when I had to have it with my son. I'm gonna be honest.
Like even when my son first got a girlfriend, he was in 9th. Well, he was in 10th grade. She was in 9th, and it was around actually Valentine's Day. And I was like, you know, your mom at my age, I don't care about Valentine's Day like that. Like, that's not real important to me. I said, but you having a girlfriend around this holiday. High school girls care about Valentine's Day. Like, you know, like from a girl's perspective, she's gonna expect you to come to school with her some teddy bears, some chocolate or something. So because that was his first girlfriend at the time, which she's now dating again, but I'm like, you gotta get something for her.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like from a mom's perspective and from a woman's perspective, even though that doesn't matter really to me today,
Yes.
that I know at that age, if
I
I was gonna be looking for my candy, my chocolate, and the balloons coming through the hallways, just like
basically,
everybody else.
For us as women, we see that's kind of like a whole nother topic. That's really raising black men.
Yeah.
Raising your boys, teaching them and training them what we would impart into them, and then what, we expect for their fathers, to impart into them, because we're talking about the topic of sex before marriage.
Right.
Yes.
And we do view it differently, as women, because obviously if you have a son, you're going to see it as yourself, what you would want. And then if you have a daughter, you're going to view it that same way. So the bottom line, ladies, sex before marriage, it's a no. It's a no. It's a no. Now, for those that have already, jumped the ship and they're already in there and they're single, we're talking about the singles, and they're singles and they're struggling.
Right.
They want to, they want to, they desire. Would you say accountability? I would say get an accountability
Yes,
partner.
you have to.
And you have to, one thing I would encourage, you cannot stay around people who, you said something, Pastor, when we were talking before the show about these 5 people you need to have in your life. And I want you to end us on that note before we get ready to end. But you cannot have people in your life that feel like it's socially acceptable. You just can't have those, girl, it's okay.
Right.
God understands. You can do
Right.
this. You have to have people that say, listen, you have a greater value on your life. You deserve more, sis.
Yes.
I want more for you. I know he's fine. I know he said he loved you. I know he can get you the trinkets. I would rather lose that friendship and tell you the truth than keep the friendship and tell you what you want to hear.
That's right.
Because
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, if he really is who God said he is to be in your life, then he needs to really put a ring on it.
Yes.
Bottom line.
Right.
So single ladies, I really pray that you're catching the heart, of a lot of things. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Shan, because this is our Valentine's episode. So, that was something, even with my son, I had to, encourage him, in dating. And, we got to do a whole nother show on that. Raising black men, boys, sons, not grown men, but raising sons. But so ladies that's struggling, singles that's struggling out there, we know your heart. Really, I'm telling you, we know where you are. We feel you. It's not easy, but through the grace of God, you can do this. You can maintain.
Yes.
And if you fell off, just get back on. That's all.
Right.
And get away from them brothers that keep pulling you and hitting you in your flesh.
Right.
Listen to them, listen to them songs and getting you all in your groove and all that. This flesh is real. So ladies, right before I'm telling you, we didn't even get to half of our things. But our time has run out. But I wanted to, let me see if I had one I could ask real quick. Yes, I have to ask this real quick for the single ladies. What is your ideal mate? Because I have this list of 27 things, and we're not going to get into that right now. But it's good, though, because it's like good credit, certain height, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm at an age where I've already raised children,
Okay.
so I'm not really trying to re-raise anybody's little ones. That's just not the vision of God for my life. I want somebody who can get up, go. It's Tuesday. Let's go to Miami. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back on Thursday. I need somebody who we can just go. That whole wait for the weekend, wait for every 6 months to take a vacation. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I need somebody to just go. So it's a lot of things on my list. But, he can meet it if he's God's man. But what is your ideal mate? And then I know we gotta go. What's your ideal
I'm
mate?
going to be real quick. And I thought I had a list until I listened to a sermon yesterday, and it just kind of wrecked my list altogether. But because of so many, I'm not a very superficial person on the outside. Like, people tell me, you got to like him. Like, because I'm not the girl that picked the cutest guy in the crowd. I'm not that girl. So it's something about the guy that makes me intrigued about him.
Okay.
And one of the things I learned about myself yesterday, like, I never could find the word for what I was really looking for, but I want a covering.
Yeah.
That's what I figured out. I was like, the word is covering, Sylvia. You want to feel safe in every area. And I'm not just talking about you financially. I'm doing very well to take care of myself financially, even though I'm not dating no broke person either.
Yeah. I need him to have his bag too.
Right. Exactly.
I need you to have some assets.
Because I am an asset.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
I realized, I was like, I'm looking for a security. Like, I need to be able to give you my heart and it still beats.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want. I want to walk in a room and know that this man knows that I'm the best thing in here.
Yeah.
Like, because everything else, I feel like you can work on certain things, but you cannot, if a man doesn't have a kingdom relationship, like that's one thing. And I'm not asking for a super deep Christian man.
Right.
Like, I don't need you to poke me in the morning talking about pray. No, poke me in a different way in the morning. We can pray. We can pray.
That's worship. Yeah, worship.
First thing in the morning. Yes. Hallelujah.
Yeah. And that's coming from the married woman. So.
Yes.
But that's what I want. Like, I really realized, okay, Sylvia, I do have things that I like about a man. Like, I like a bearded man. I think that's attractive to me.
So
I like a man
I
that
like
knows.
suits.
Oh, that's what I was about to say.
Yes.
A man that can dress.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I mean, he don't have to be
It's
like a two-piece, but it's just something. I posted a picture of my son. He had the suit on, and I put on there. I just love a guy in the suit. I think it's
Yes.
just something about a suit. I told him, I said, because my son plays ball, so I'm always used to seeing him in sports gear. And when I said, sweetie, you came through on that.
Yes.
And you didn't need mama's help. I would literally try to take him to the store to buy suits, and he would just, I don't want no suit. I mean, just fall.
That is attractive.
And it is.
Especially if it's European cut and
You better
it's
stop
double
posting them
breasted.
sons though. I'm like, I know these boys in there. And Bishop Thomas.
No, hey,
John
they
Bishop
told this.
Thomas.
I had a few friends. They said, now, I didn't watch this baby grow up. How old is he now? And he said,
Not old enough for you.
Yeah, he said, well, Mom, I'm all right. I'm good in that area. I said, oh, okay. I just want to let you know my friends got to check you out. So, but let me ask you real quick, Pastor, what is your ideal mate? Just three things.
I think the biggest thing, Sylvia said, covering.
Covering. Oh, I love that.
I mean, really, covering is the biggest thing, especially when you have a person, when you're an individual that doing things, enjoying what God has called you to do, to be able to have that, to share it with someone that can cover you, that got your back.
Yes. Yeah.
That you know that you don't have to worry about just that part. They're watching.
Yeah.
They're watching. And I think for me, at this part of my life, I need that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I realized, and then Shan, we're going to get everybody's contact info. Something I realized that I never knew about myself until recently, that I like to talk to somebody who makes me smile within.
Yes. That's
when
a
you
good
just find yourself like being googly and you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
Why is this? And you FaceTime, you're like, why am I smiling like this? You know what I'm saying? You're like, wait, where did this come from? Okay, wait, whoa. I'm smiling from within.
My heart is smiling.
Yeah, my heart is smiling. And I was like, wow. This is real. I said, now that's something that I do like. That's something where you forget, we're power women. You forget that you're a CEO. You forget you're a boss. You know what I'm saying? It's that little girl. And that little girl. And then you get to that little group, be like, hey, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Get together.
Let me get myself.
Okay, so Shan, how can everybody, connect with you?
Everyone can connect with me on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, following Shantastic Hair, or on my website at www.theshantastichairlife.com.
And Shan, you're doing amazing things. Shan has been my stylist for so long. I'm kind of in transition because Shan, like on the other side of glory, But I tell you, please, y'all make sure that y'all just support Shan. I love the braidless weaves. If y'all need braid, and they'll be like, braidless weave? I'm telling you, the best. Shan is the best. Y'all make sure y'all hit Shan up. She's doing awesome things. And then you have your training school too, the Mom.
Yep. I have a class coming up Monday and a few more this month. And then I'll be adding some more to the calendar throughout the year. And then
while Shan is talking, we'll have somebody that's putting it in the comment section so you can hit her right up. Pastor Karen Dones, tell us all about how to connect with you in your ministry.
You can connect with me through Facebook, the website, karendones.org. And it leads you to everything that I'm doing.
Okay.
That's the one-stop shop right there. Just my name, karendones.org.
Okay. I like that. All right, lady friends, how can we connect with you?
So
you all can connect with me at Adrana France on Instagram and Facebook. That's ADRANA France, just like the country. And you can join us in Mapleton, Georgia, for church at Prep City Ministries, where my husband is Pastor Aaron Nathaniel France. And we are on Facebook at PREP City Ministries. And you can find us on there and join us online on Sundays.
All righty. And Miss Sylvia.
So again, I'm Sylvia Taylor, and you can reach me on Instagram at I am Sylvia Taylor. I'm actually launching a podcast on Valentine's Day. And it's called The Love Letter to Myself. So you can check me out there as well. And the website is I am Sylvia Taylor or The Love Letter to Myself.
Love it.
Love it.
And Marsherie. On your Facebook.
I do have a Facebook. What is my name on Facebook?
Marsherie Heard.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Sister-in-law, see, family. And Lifeline. They can always come to Lifeline.
Always.
I tell you, ladies, it has been truly an honor having y'all at the Queen's table. This has been awesome. The food has been delicious, prepared by Chef Chris. Just an awesome time of fellowship. I had so many more things I wanted to talk to y'all about. You know, this has just been so much. And I know that there's some ladies that's watching, and I know that you've been blessed as well as I've been blessed, you know, and I know that we bless one another. And I want to encourage you to share this. If you didn't get a chance to share it in the beginning, share it on your page, share it with somebody, because they really do need to hear what God has to say. Topics like, you know, sex before marriage, oral sex. Again, I think the take on that is the Bible says that the marriage bed is undefiled. Mm-hmm. And so as long as it's good for you and your spouse, you know, y'all are comfortable with it, you have to be comfortable with it. Get over that religious mindset that tells you otherwise. And if both of y'all are good with not doing it, be comfortable with that, you know, as well. Don't feel forced into something. You know, a marriage is like a glove. It should be a good fit, all right? So just want to encourage you. Y'all can follow me on Facebook, Marlyn S. Thomas. My website, I have 2. Lifeline, we're celebrating 18 years in ministry. Yes. So you can hit us up at www.lifelinefamilyworshipcenter.org or my personal website at motivationwithdrmarlyn.com. So make sure that you tune in to the next episode of Motivation Moment with Marlyn Show. This is a single life versus married life. So ladies, is the grass greener on the other side? What's our take? Is the grass greener on the other side? Just say, I'm going to take my